Hey everybody, drawing and labeling a parallel circuit is very similar to drawing and labeling a series circuit, but sometimes it gets a little bit more compact in there. So trying to find the best way to draw that is important. And so I'm going to go ahead and draw myself a circuit that has one battery and three resistors all in parallel with one another. And there are, again, many ways to draw this, but this is the way that I'm going to draw it right now. So I'm going to start out by putting my battery, which again is a long line and a short line. This is the positive side of the battery, and that's the negative side of the battery, right? And I'm going to put it in parallel. So I'm going to draw these lines coming off the battery here. And to draw this in parallel, I'm just going to draw one long line here. And I'll draw a second long line out here. So now I've got spaces that I can hook up anything that I want in parallel between these two lines. Keep in mind that these two lines are at the same voltage as the battery itself. And anything I want to add in here, I could add in. So I could put in three resistors. Here comes one. So that's one resistor, and then a second resistor, and a third resistor, and I could keep going in the exact same way with however many resistors I want. So this is three resistors, we would say, in parallel with the battery itself and in parallel with each other. So now if I'm going to label this, I'd go ahead and put in and say, this is my, well, let's put in the R1, R2, R3 to begin with. So here is R1, here is R2, and here is R3, right? That's this first part. So we're labeling R1, R2, and R3. And then next, we're going to be labeling the voltage here. Maybe I'll change colors just so it's an easier, clearer understanding. So I want to label the voltage across the battery. I could also label the voltage across each of the different resistors, but it's the same voltage, remember. So in this case here, the voltage across the battery, V, from here to here, is the same voltage as you would have across any of them, because if you were color coding this, it would be all red on top and all blue on the bottom. So that's my voltage, and there's my resistance. So I've got those two taken care of. And then it says label the overall current. Now the overall current is a current that is the one closest to the battery. This is the strongest current on the page. It's here. This is my overall current. This is the current that is the same here, and it's also the same here. That would be I, kind of down in this category. Of course, when you get to this point, the current breaks up. Some of the current flows this way, and some of the current flows this way. The current that's flowing downwards here, I'm going to call I1 because we're talking about resistance 1 there. And some of it flows down and some of it flows across. This across piece right here is not the same as the overall current because some of the charges have flowed down this first channel, right? So this is our pieces. This next one, kind of down here, I'm going to call this one I2. And then last but not least, there's a current here, I3. Drawing my arrows to show the flow along the way. So this is my overall current, I1, I2, and I3. So that takes my overall current and my three currents, I1, I2, I3. And that's it. That works out pretty well for me. That's how you label and draw a parallel circuit. All right, thanks everybody. See you in the next one.